Over the past decades, Germany's automotive industry has built its strength on engineering precision and pricing power. But let me ask you, what will be the next true source of competitive advantage? When pricing power reaches its limits, how do we defend the brand and accelerate innovation? And how do we move from AI pilots to series production, with compliance, trust, and measurable ROI built in? For OEMs and suppliers alike, this is the journey ahead. Databricks' role is not to replace what makes this industry unique, but to provide the one data intelligence platform that connects defensive priorities like governance and safety with offensive priorities like productivity, efficiency, and customer value. This is how German automotive moves from prototype to series production in data and AI, ensuring resilience, compliance, and leadership in a highly regulated world. Over the past half-decade, German OEMs and premium divisions have begun a pivot from sheer volume to engineered value. In a world plagued by component shortages and supply volatility, priorities shifted. It's no longer about pushing units. It's about protecting margins, sustaining brand prestige, and strengthening balance sheets. We see evidence of this in divisions achieving adjusted EBIT margins in the mid-teens, and returns on sales rising in modular high-value lines. To support this, OEMs have launched modular platforms, modular electric subsystems, and aggressive performance programs to extract cost, efficiency, and scalability. This value pivot is the necessary precondition for the next leap, the data pivot. If margin discipline, product modularity, and engineering excellence were phase 1, then data, AI, and operationalized intelligence is phase 2. Our path forward is clear. We must translate that same discipline into how we handle data, compliance, knowledge, ROI, and cross-domain orchestration. The industry's pivot from volume to value proved how powerful pricing and brand strength can be. It delivered higher margins, stronger profitability, and balance sheet resilience. But it also showed the limits of pricing power. Today, relying solely on premium mix exposes risk when demand shifts. The EV transition brings new cost structures and battery price volatility. Tariff regimes, raw material shocks, and fragile supply chains amplify uncertainty. This is why pricing power alone cannot carry the future. To secure sustainable margins, German OEMs must now turn to data-driven resilience, predictive insights to manage volatility, AI-driven productivity in engineering and production, and compliance frameworks that turn regulation into competitive advantage. This marks the starting point of the next pivot, from pricing power to data power. Databricks sees data as the next strategic engine for German automotive. On one platform, OEMs and suppliers can balance two levers, defense and offense. On defense, governance, compliance, and trust. The assurance that reporting is reliable, that intellectual property in batteries, drivetrains, or vehicle software is protected, and that costs are controlled through efficiency and standardization. On offense, acceleration and differentiation, faster development cycles, smarter, more efficient factories, more resilient supply chains, premium customer experiences and new digital services, and measurable ROI through efficiency and innovation. Defense protects the brand. Offense accelerates the future. Databricks provides both on a single unified platform that reduces TCO while maximizing enterprise value. The value pivot worked. Premium mix, stricter capacity discipline, and sharper segmentation strengthened margins across German automotive. It proved the industry can transform under pressure. But pricing power has limits. EV economics remain tight. Input prices and logistics are volatile. Tariffs and regional policies can swing costs. And software is now a material line item, from in-vehicle stacks to data infrastructure. The next pivot is powered by data. That means putting AI into production at series scale, embedding governance and compliance by design, building a knowledge culture that raises speed and quality, proving ROI in operations and customer value, and orchestrating consistently across brands, plants, and the supplier network. This is why a single backbone matters. Databricks' data intelligence platform unifies data, analytics, and AI so defense and offense can run together, trust and compliance on one side, performance and innovation on the other, while reducing TCO and scaling seamlessly across vehicle lines and partners. Data and AI create value at every stage of the automotive value chain. In R&D, digital twins accelerate design cycles and enable secure collaboration across engineering centers and suppliers. In manufacturing, predictive maintenance, energy optimization, and throughput gains translate directly into higher efficiency and lower costs. In the supply chain, real-time control towers and risk modeling improve resilience, managing tariff shifts, logistics volatility, and material constraints. At the customer interface, a trusted 360 degrees view powers proactive service campaigns, hyper-personalization, and premium digital experiences. And in finance and ESG, scenario modeling, CO2 pipelines, and real-time planning deliver transparency, trust, and compliance by design. One unified platform connects all of this end-to-end, ensuring that value is not locked in silos but scaled across brands, plants, and partners. This roadmap shows how the next pivot unfolds, from foundation to acceleration to true differentiation. In the first 12 months, the focus is on governance and ESG pipelines, establishing a trusted AI lifecycle with security by design, and enabling teams through quick-win pilots. By 18 months, OEMs are scaling. EV digital twins, supply chain control towers, and predictive service pilots move beyond experimentation into series-level use cases. Central tools and processes ensure repeatability and compliance. At 24 months, differentiation becomes visible. Software-defined vehicle programs accelerate, customer experiences are hyper-personalized, and new revenue streams emerge from data monetization. ROI is measurable in productivity, customer value, and resilience. Most importantly, AI culture is embedded, with empowered teams and compliance built in from day one. This is how German Automotive can scale the value pivot with data as the true second lever. As we move beyond the roadmap, I want to pause and share some of the critical lessons I've seen in the field. Across engagements with leading OEMs and suppliers, from Stuttgart to Wolfsburg, from Munich to Detroit, the technology often looks similar. But what separates those who scale from those who stall are consistent patterns. These are the field lessons that make AI at scale actually happen. And the very first one is the most fundamental: people. Every AI journey begins with people. Technology may be the visible layer, but what really determines success is leadership, culture, and enablement. Teams need to be trained, supported, and empowered to adopt AI responsibly. They must have the confidence to experiment, the guidance to align with governance, and the backing from leadership to turn pilots into production. Without that foundation, AI remains stuck in pilots. With it, AI scales across the organization, transforming not just individual projects but the way the enterprise works. And that pattern holds everywhere I've seen it. Whether in Stuttgart, Munich, Wolfsburg, or Detroit, culture and enablement are non-negotiable for AI at scale. From the field, we see the same pattern everywhere. Data and AI transformation is 90% people and process, and only 10% technology. That means executive sponsorship, knowledge sharing, and change management matter more than tools alone. This means building an AI culture, champions, enablement, and cross-department orchestration, so that technology becomes an accelerator, not the bottleneck. The second lesson: successful programs focus relentlessly on outcomes, not experiments. German OEMs know how to engineer prototypes, but the difference in AI is that value only emerges in production. That means linking every initiative to measurable productivity, cost savings, customer experience, or resilience. Pilots may prove feasibility, but outcomes prove impact. Without that shift, transformation stalls. A strong data strategy isn't just about technology, it's about process. 3 principles make the difference. First, drive clarity. Define what trusted, accessible data means for your organization. Assess where you are today, set the baseline, and measure progress continuously. Second, lead with principles. Align on clear objectives, embed governance and compliance from the start, and avoid the decision paralysis that slows transformations down. Third, find the golden thread. Single use cases rarely transform a business on their own. What matters is connecting them into a bigger outcome, the thread that ties directly to ROI and customer value. The Databricks data intelligence platform supports this by providing one trusted foundation, so clarity, principles, and outcomes are reinforced consistently across the organization. A strong data strategy is built on clear principles, not ad hoc decisions. First, align on objectives and priorities. Without this, every department pulls in a different direction and investments fragment. Second, anticipate compliance and integration costs early. Embedding governance, compliance, and security by design prevents costly rework later. Third, avoid decision paralysis. Programs stall when decisions are made by committee. Successful OEMs establish clear ownership and accountability from the start. The Databricks data intelligence platform reinforces these principles, providing one trusted foundation where objectives, compliance, and outcomes are aligned consistently across the organization. Single use cases, no matter how successful, don't transform an organization. They prove value locally, but they rarely shift the bigger picture. True transformation comes when you connect those use cases into a bigger outcome, the golden thread, the process or objective that everyone recognizes and cares about. That's what creates alignment, focus, and momentum across the business. By working on a unified foundation, those individual wins don't stay siloed. They add up to a coherent strategy that scales and delivers measurable ROI. Lesson 3. Governance isn't a box-ticking exercise, it is the backbone of scale. Whether it's data quality, security, or regulatory compliance, embedding governance by design is what separates sustainable programs from short-lived experiments. For German OEMs, this means treating AI with the same rigor as vehicle safety, tested, validated, and documented before it goes on the road. Governance is what earns trust with regulators, customers, and the boardroom. The urgency has never been higher. The EU AI Act is setting the benchmark for trustworthy AI, and it will define what responsible AI means across industries. And around the world, similar initiatives are accelerating. The US Executive Order, Canada's AI and Data Act, state-level laws, and international frameworks from the G7 and NIST. For automotive, this is not just about risk avoidance. Those who prepare early can turn regulation into a competitive advantage. By demonstrating that AI is transparent, governed, and compliant by design, companies can build trust with regulators, partners, and customers, and stand out in the market as a leader in responsible AI. The fourth lesson: scale comes from a unified platform, not isolated tools. Point solutions may solve local problems, but they create silos and complexity that OEMs cannot afford at series scale. One data intelligence platform provides the foundation for both defense and offense, lowering total cost, simplifying architecture, and enabling cross-functional orchestration. For automotive, that means data can flow seamlessly from R&D to manufacturing to customer services. Future-proofing the platform comes down to 4 practical principles. First, keep it simple. Avoid unnecessary complexity that slows down adoption. Second, reduce your debt. Consolidate where possible so teams aren't carrying legacy overhead. Third, plan for multi-cloud, because flexibility and sovereignty matter in a global business. And fourth, avoid lock-in. Open standards are what ensure freedom of choice and resilience. Together, these principles protect ROI and make orchestration across departments achievable. In the end, everything we've discussed comes back to 3 dimensions: people, process, and platform. And these map directly to the priorities German Automotive has set for data and AI. People means culture and enablement. AI is 90% people and process, and only 10% technology. Building an AI center of enablement ensures teams are trained, supported, and empowered, so adoption is consistent across departments rather than stuck in silos. That's how you embed orchestration and leadership through knowledge. Process means clarity and focus. Moving AI out of pilots and into scaled production requires clear principles, measurable outcomes, and a golden thread that ties every use case to ROI. This is how organizations avoid pilot purgatory and prove value early. Platform means trust and sustainability. Governance, compliance, and security must be built in from the start. Compliance by design, not as an afterthought. With regulations such as the EU AI Act approaching fast, embedding trust in the platform turns compliance into a competitive advantage. And by keeping it simple, open, and multi-cloud, the platform becomes resilient, future-proof, and able to scale across the enterprise. Together, these 3 dimensions, people, process, and platform, cover the 5 essential priorities: culture, governance, ROI, orchestration, and scale. They are the foundation for German Automotive to move from pricing power to data power, to operationalize AI at speed, and to lead responsibly in the new era of regulated, data-driven mobility. German Automotive has long defined premium and performance through engineering excellence. The next decade will be defined by data excellence. With one data intelligence platform, OEMs and suppliers can connect R&D to manufacturing, supply chain to customer, finance to ESG. Defending the brand through governance and trust. Accelerating the future through performance, innovation, and measurable ROI. This is the foundation for the next decade of leadership. Premium, innovative, and resilient. In a regulated world, fueled with data and AI powered by Databricks. As we've seen today, German Automotive has proven it can pivot from volume to value, from engineering to premium. The next pivot is powered by data and AI. I'd be delighted to continue this conversation with you, whether it's about operationalizing AI, embedding governance by design, or unlocking measurable ROI. Let's start the journey together.